What up, world? Welcome to the episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms everywhere, BrandonJaneauShow. Social media, Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau, uh, Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Yeah, I really gotta start fucking putting this shit up somewhere. Uh, um, go, follow. Uh, Follow on all of those Instagram, all those social media platforms that I have, man. I hope you guys follow me on those. Just like I hope you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, BrandonJaneauShow, where you go catch all of the visuals, full episodes of the visuals, and of course my clips. I put shorts out and everything, man. I hope you guys enjoy this episode, man. Yeah, you already know it's Tuesday, which means you already know what it is. I bleed sports. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, so much craziness going on. You got the NBA season coming around. Baseball is officially in the playoffs. First games was really yesterday, but today is officially baseball season. The first game has already wrapped up. It was I'll talk about that in a couple seconds. Of course, football, of course, is going nuts right now. Um, I'm doing my players and teams up, and my players and teams that are doing bad. Of course, my crazy six. Uh, Eyes on college football, Big Four in the NFL, and of course, levels of warning as all football. And that'll be at the end of this show. So please, please be ready for that. All right, let's get into it. So, like I said, the playoffs are officially here for baseball. We have made it, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it. Yesterday, it actually started, really yesterday, um, with the Braves and the Mets playing each other, and whoever would have swept those two games would have it would have been that team. So the Mets won the first game yesterday, and if they would have swept the Braves in the second game, the Diamondbacks would have made the playoffs, and the Braves would have been eliminated. But they split. Uh, Same thing with the Braves. Braves would have won, swept the Mets the first couple games. Then the Diamondbacks would have been in the playoffs. But they split the games, and the Braves and the Mets. That is the craziest thing. Because they literally had to go from Atlanta, and both of them had to go different places. It's the craziest shit on the planet. That's just absolutely freaking nuts. That they both had to go different freaking places. The Braves, I think, went to they clinched the sixth seed. So I think they went to the three seed. I know the Phillies and the Dodgers are one and two. So the Mets went to the Brewers. They're playing right now, which the Brewers won the NL Central, and the Braves are going against I think to San Diego Padres. I think. So yeah, that's crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know if Padres are third. That's kind of weird because the Mets was fifth. I don't know how the fuck that works. That's some weird shit. That's weird. I don't get it. But anyway, but they played yesterday. Both teams split. Um, and of course, um, both teams split. The Braves and the Mets are in the playoffs now. And now that we go to now um playoffs today starting, physically starting uh the AL wild card has officially started today. So the first game was the Tigers and the Astros, and the Astros lost to the Tigers 3-1. The Astros try to come back um, in the game. Uh, yeah, I think they play tomorrow too. Game two will be tomorrow. So yeah, man, that was a the Astros do shit like this. They really do play game. They have games like this where they just shit the bed. God Almighty, it's damn near like you just be watching the games. The Astros just do shit like this. There is no way in hell you should have lost to the Tigers. especially give up 3 runs in the first 2 innings. Like it was just like the Tigers didn't score any more the rest of the game. It just was just like what the fuck. You should have never put yourself in that situation, and they did. So it is what it is. Like I said, the Orioles and the Royals are playing right now. The Brewers and the Mets are playing, and later on tonight will be the Padres and the Braves. So if you are into MLB baseball, we are off to a great start. Um, so let's get into it this way, man. Also WNBA. The WNBA is also in the playoffs. They're already in the second round of the playoffs. The Aces and the Liberty are playing rematch of last year's WNBA finals. Um, the and Connecticut Sun and the Lynx are playing. So literally four of the best teams four of the best teams in WNBA are playing against each other. Not surprised they all swept the first round series, which they should have. Um, to be honest with you, man, I don't know what the finals will be. I want the Aces to repeat, but if the Liberty gets there, I'll be like, it makes sense. The Liberty are just as great as the Aces. Um, I'll say the Connecticut Sun. I think the way Connecticut Sun are built, they can easily get to you know, uh, the finals. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Lynx get there. The Lynx are really freaking good. They're one of the best players in the WNBA. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting finals. I can say that. I don't know who's gonna win. I think if the Sun and the Liberty get there, I think the Liberty have a little bit too much, but the Sun have a defense. I think that they can limit Sabrina Nesco and Brianna Stewart. I think they can limit them. The Sun have one of the best defenses in WNBA. So yeah, I think the Sun can limit the Liberty. Um, if the Aces and the Lynx get there, holy shit, that'd be a fucking showcase of scoring. So yeah, that'd be dope. I think the Lynx actually could beat the Aces. So yeah. Um, so let's get into this. So over the weekend, Devin Haney and his father Bill sued Ryan Garcia for battery and some other shit because of the fight that they had earlier this year. Now, Ryan Garcia uh, beat Devin Haney. Um, I don't know if it was unanimous. I don't think it was. I think it was majority decision. I don't think it was unanimous. But he won. He beat him. Watching that fight, man. Because I was at my brother's house. It was like a big ass boxing party, and watching that fight, and it was, it was, yeah. Was it? It might have been. It might have been like a week or two after my father passed. I can't remember when the fight was. I think it was like a week or two after my father passed, or maybe like a couple days after or something. But I remember going to his house. Yeah, because it was like April 10th, I think. I remember going to his house, and everybody was there and watching that fight, and everybody was betting on the fight. I was like, "Oh, we got Devin. Devin gonna win this." Some people was like, "Nah, Ryan got it. Ryan got it." And I was like, "I think Ryan gonna win this shit tonight." This fight, watching that fight, man, was funny as shit. Like as a boxing fan, you watching that fight being like, can this motherfucker try to box? Like this motherfucker's getting tagged every time, bro. Soon as the first bell rung and Devin got tagged and you saw his fucking legs go, that motherfucker's like, whoop. Yo, that shit was bad, bro. Everybody in the house was like, God damn, what the fuck just happened? Like that fight was so funny to watch. I still have like just memories of it. It's the funniest fight I've ever seen because just the complete and utter be like for the people that were just like, wow, that happened. Devin lost. Now, what happened after the fight is Ryan was caught not for PED. See, people get this shit misconstrued. See, this is the problem I got with people. He did not get caught with steroids. That is the problem. Austria, which was to help him lose weight for the fight. So for people that continuously say he's a PED user, he's not a PED user. That's the problem with motherfuckers. He had it took in a diet supplement and it had estrogen in it, which is banned by the boxing committee. So when I hear people sit there and say he's a PED user, I don't think you motherfuckers really know what he really got caught for, and that's what the problem is. That's where the problem lies because a lot of y'all just saying shit, and it makes me realize you don't know shit. He did not get caught for fucking PEDs. He got caught for a diet supplement. And here's the thing: it's not that he got caught because he. It's not that he got caught. It's the fact that he didn't list that he took that. It's not that he got caught. It's the fact that he didn't tell them that he took that. He ingested that. And for people that's also sitting there saying, in boxing, if you're going to take a diet supplement, you really think that shit made you stronger? You're trying to lose weight. That gives you more power? What? When did that? When? It's yeah. It, you hear people talk. It's funny. Because you sound wrong, and us trying to tell you you're wrong is stupid. And then because of the generation we live in, people will tell you, "Oh, you trying to defend a racist?" Listen, what Ryan has said in his private world, in his private life, I do not defend what the fuck he has said ever. He's a piece of shit human being. Cool, we can easily agree on that. But as a fucking boxer that fought in that ring that night, anybody could sit there and see he beat the shit out of Devin Haney. He beat the fuck out of Devin. And it had nothing to do with a fucking supplement drug. You just making up shit. And that's the problem. We live in a world right now where you're not even fans of the sport, you're fans of the person. And that is the fucking problem nowadays with sports. You're not a fan of the sport, you're a fan of the person. Devin lost that fight. Anybody that watched that fight can sit there and tell you to your face, Devin lost that fight. He lost that fight. This man got knocked down 4 times, not 3, 4 fucking shit, actually 5, because he got hit twice and fell to the ground, and the ref kept waving it the fuck off. Like, what the fuck you waving it off for? They try to cheat and give him an extra point, try to take a point away from Ryan. Matter of fact, they did. Talk about he hit him below the belt. Like, what? That's a warning, not a fucking just, hey, there's a point taken. Come on, bro. You barely gave a man a warning for the first one, if he did it. It's shit like that. Stop trying to say y'all are fans. You're not. You're fans of the person. And to be honest with you, this is why I've always said Devin is the weakest one out of all of them. He's the weakest one out of all of them. Shakur could beat him because Shakur is defensively sound. He might not have power, but he does Devin. But Shakur got defense, and all he got to do is just keep letting Devin try to tag him and just keep hitting him with a jab. Keep kind of punching him. He ain't got to really do shit. Teofimo could beat Devin, because Teofimo is sometimes lackadaisical. He is in a fucking ring sometimes. When he has a real competitor and a real opponent that he actually puts his all into, he could beat the shit out of you. I've seen it. Lomachenko, Josh Taylor. When he has actually fought you, he has beaten them and beaten them pretty fucking convincingly. And the crazy part is when you watch him fight against fuck his dude name, George Kambosos, he should have won that. He should have won that. That motherfucker tagged George late in that round, that end of that fight, and tagged his ass. But that's the thing about it, man. People, you're not fans of the sport. You're fans of the person, and that is what is tainting sports nowadays. You're fans of the person, not the sport. Devin, as a person, as a boxer, you got everything you wanted out of the situation. You got your undefeated record back. You got Ryan to pay $1.5 million to you because he came in overweight to the fight. The belt wasn't even on the line, which is the craziest shit because he came in overweight. You got your ass whooped for free. you got you got your ass whooped for free. It's pretty much what happened. You got your ass whooped for free. You paid this nigga to whoop your ass, pretty much. You paid this nigga to beat your ass. That is the funniest shit I've ever heard. Like that, you paid him to pretty much beat your ass on live TV, and then you've tried to stop the. This is how fuck shit this is because people forget. There's been reports that Devin has tried to literally stop the zone for putting the entire fight out because he felt like it was what he said. If he felt like that was impeding his like the right for the fight, like or he felt like you should be showing this fight. Like cause Ryan cheated me and he was bro. This nigga's done some fuck shit. Like yo, like no, bro. Like this nigga's done some fuck shit. Like people forget this shit. Like this dude he tried to stop the zone from putting the fight out, which they haven't still put this fight out. Like the zone hasn't put the fight out. Now maybe that's just a year thing. Maybe because but you cannot tell me you see what the zone has what not the zone PBC boxing is doing right after the fight's over. Maybe a month after the fight, 2 months after the fight, is on YouTube. Hell, I was watching Anthony Joshua and Daniel Du Bois um fight last week. The fight happened Saturday. I was watching that bitch like Wednesday. Matter of fact, Tuesday. I Bleed Sports and told you about it last week. The shit was on YouTube. Chucky Sheik put it on YouTube. So for you to sit there and say you don't want this fight out, like people forget this nigga's done some fuck shit. Like bro, like no, bro, like this nigga has done some wild fuck shit. And now you suing this man? What? I, you guys are fans of the person, not the sport. This is terrible for the sport. And then when we tell you it's fucking horrible, you run out here with that, well, you defending a racist. Bruh, I'm not defending the person. I'm defending the sport. In the sport of boxing, your job, you literally have one job in your life. You have trained your whole life to handle your problems in a ring. And if you felt like you've been done wrong, you get your payback in the ring. Go watch Miguel Cotto. This man got Now that's a man that got fucking cheated. Lost to a man that had concrete wraps under his fucking boxing gloves. And then when he saw, and then the man fought Sugar Shane. I think he fought Margarito fought Sugar Shane, I think, and then he fought Manny Pacquiao. And Manny broke his orbital bone. Sugar Shane broke his orbital bone. One of them broke his eye. And he had to get cleared. He wouldn't get cleared in Vegas, so they had to move it to New York. Miguel was like, I'm gonna get my payback. I'm gonna beat the shit out you. They couldn't get it cleared in Vegas, so they had to move it to New York. And then when they fought in New York, Miguel beat the hell out of him. Beat the shit out of him. That's how you get your payback. This is so pussy. And I don't give a fuck if you're a Devin fan or not. This is ridiculous. You don't do no shit like this. I'm sorry, bro. And here's my thing. I don't care if you fight whoever you fight next. If it's not Ryan Garcia, I don't want to see it. Nobody's gonna pay money to see a Devin Haney fight. Devin needs to go ahead and retire. It's over. You had to literally bitch, moan, and complain to get your undefeated back. And once you got your undefeated record back, you do some fuck shit like this. You and your father are the worst thing that happened to boxing in some years. We finally have stars and actual boxing fans, and yet you do some stupid fuck shit like this. Y'all are fans of Devin. This has nothing to do with you. Get the fuck out this chat. You are not here for boxing. You are here for Devin. Get the fuck out of here. As a boxing fan, this is fucking despicable. This is fucking wrong, and Devin need to go ahead and retire. Just quit. It's over. Retire. Your legacy is done. You had no legacy to begin with, but now it's really fucked. Nobody wants to. Nobody is going to want to. When they fight you, you damn near got to beat their ass. And here's the thing: you're not. The only fight we want to see from Devin now is Ryan Garcia. And if you do not fight Ryan Garcia, when he gets, when he's done with his suspension, if you do not fight Ryan Garcia, you go ahead and retire, bro. You can't sit on TV. And this is the thing. Talk about something. Oh, he took PEDs. No. What he did was take a supplement drug and then tell the boxing committee how much he ingested. I'm sorry, losing weight gives you superpowers? Gives you superpower? Like, fuck out of here, man. Like, people that sitting there saying, this shit gives you, like, come on, bruh. Are you serious? No, man. No, man. No. This was, this is despicable. And again, y'all are fans of Devin. You're not fans of the sport. Boxing, the sport, you don't do no shit like this. This that Gen Z shit. You don't do no shit like this. You get it back in blood. Literally. You get it back in blood, bro. You go in the ring and you fight this nigga. And you beat his ass. Here's the fucking crazy part. The reason why Devin lost, because Devin could have easily won the fight. The reason why Devin kept lost is because he thought he can bully this man. He thought Ryan was out of shape. Ryan had no skill level like he did. He tried to get on the inside with this man, and he got his ass whooped. Devin is a way superior boxer than Ryan. Way superior. Devin actually has boxing skills. Ryan just has power. So when he got tagged, and I said this shit. You could go back and watch when I talked about this shit a long time ago. When this fight was announced, and the week before the fight, I literally said, I see Devin getting tagged in the first fucking round. I see him get fucking fall to the ground, and then him and his daddy gonna have to fucking switch the game plan. And then Devin's gonna probably win. I said that. It's fucking a clip right now on my YouTube channel. Go fucking watch it. I said that shit. What Devin did in that fight was fucking stupid. him and his father didn't switch the game plan up. Once you got tagged in the first round, you are now fighting outside. You're using your feet. You're getting his ass out of place. You are not fighting him on the inside. I don't want to see you tie up with this motherfucker at all. Jab, get the fuck out the way. The fact that his dad saw his son get tagged in the first round and didn't switch up the fucking game plan. Here's how funny this is. Second and third round, he was doing exactly what he needed to do. He was winning the fight. The problem is, once he got to the fourth round, he got tagged. He got tried to go in on inside, tried to bully him again, and got his ass tagged. This is bad. And again, I'm not here for the fucking fanboys. I don't give a fuck if you like Devin the person. Fuck Devin the person. The boxer is screwed. And he needs to go ahead and fucking retire. Because this shit is some shit you can't live down. I don't care if it was you or your daddy or whoever. There's some shit you can't live down, bro. And the next time you do fight, if it's not Ryan Garcia, I don't see the fight. I don't give a fuck who you fight. I don't give a fuck who you fight. I don't care. Yeah, that shit's embarrassing. That shit's fucking embarrassing. Tank Davis is also returning to the ring December 14th, which I'm looking forward to. So, yeah, that's just fucking embarrassing. Lord Jesus. And people are defending this shit. Dead ass defending this. And that's why I was like, yeah, you bitches are not boxing fans. You are fans of Devin Haney. You are not boxing fans. You don't know one fucking thing about boxing. That made me realize right then and there who the fuck we be talking to on social media. There's a section of people that know what the fuck they're talking about, and a section of people that just use their emotions and think their fucking feelings are valid. No, nigga. There's a place for this. Your whole career is centered around getting in a ring and solving it by using your fucking hands, hand to hand combat, and you got your ass whooped in hand to hand combat. And now you want to bitch, moan, and complain and call foul. When you said, your daddy said you was going to kill this fucking dude in the ring. Fuck out of here. Get sick of that shit. That shit just fucking stupid. College football. Wild week last week, huh? College football. Wild fucking week, wasn't it? Week 5 was nuts. Alabama, Georgia lived up to the hype for a lot of people. Me. Um, I know Ryan Williams. Uh, Ryan Williams, the wide receiver for Alabama, 17-year-old receiver from Alabama. Um, Boy, was it 17, shit would have got different on that night. I'm just saying, if he wasn't 17, shit would have got different that night for that man, bro. Probably still was a little different for that man that night. I'm just saying. So, you probably had girls that was like, yo. I was like, yo, that thing, that nigga, that nigga's 17, but I'm pretty sure, man, you got, some girls, yeah. Uh, um, but yeah, man. Like I said, man, uh, players and teams going up, and players and teams down bad for week 6 coming into this season, man. As you know, I gotta start with the positive, man. I gotta start with the positive. As my brother Juan would say, let's start with the positive. All right, my player that's going up this week, starting with talking about Ryan Williams, the man that threw that pass to Ryan Williams. Uh, Jalen Moreau. Here's the thing. If anybody tells me, I swear, if anybody again tells me if I see another motherfucking quarterback chart, draft experts tell me Shador Sanders and Carson Beck are better than Jalen Monroe and Cam Ward, I'm going to literally lose my fucking mind. What the fuck are y'all watching? What are you looking at? Shador Sanders, if he goes to a team and he has to start right the fuck now, that team will be looking for a quarterback in 2 fucking years. A year and a half, they'd be looking for a new quarterback. A year and a half, they'll be looking for a new quarterback. If that kid got to start right the fuck now for a franchise, the Giants or the Jaguars or any fucking team that has to pick this kid in a year and a half or 2 years, they will be picking a new fucking quarterback because he's not fucking ready. He can't handle college defenses with an offensive line bad. You think they gonna fucking give him any praise in this fucking second? Bro, they are going to hurt that dude. And I like Shador Sanders, but I ain't that fucking stupid. I ain't dumb. That shit ain't happening. Carson Beck, congratulations. You came back in the game against Alabama. But this ain't Alabama defense that Nick Saban coached. You came back against Alabama head coach who coached Washington last year. Did you not see how Washington defense looked last motherfucking year? Quentin Harris dominated that fucking defense last year in the fucking college playoffs. Are you fucking kidding me? Did you not watch that game? If they didn't have Michael Penix Jr., they would have lost in the fucking Sugar Bowl last year. You fucking kidding me? And then they played Michigan and got fucking killed by Michigan. That defense of Alabama ain't like it was with Nick Saban. This is a whole new coaching regime. So yeah, Carson Beck, he came back and had a great game. But what he did in the first half, that's really what Carson Beck is. They let up in the second half defensively. Now let's play a game where he actually had to fucking really do some shit. And the game is tight and he gotta do it. I don't think he's doing it. If I gotta get here that Carson Beck and Shador Sanders are 1 and 2 on the quarterback conversation for the upcoming NFL draft, that will make me eventually realize you motherfuckers do not know football. I had to watch today Mel Kiper try to tell me how now Jalen Rose is a top five, and he still got him in a top five. He got him in the fifth quarterback in the draft coming into the draft. Bitches, you stupid. What the fuck are you watching? What are you watching? Jalen Rose, from the moment the season has started, has been the fucking best quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks. I'm not gonna say the best quarterback, but one of the best quarterbacks this year. Saturday was a perfect example of it. Him and Cam Ward are 1 and 2. 1A, 1 and 1A. 1B. 1A, 1B. Whichever one you want to pick. Whoever gets those two quarterbacks, your franchise is gonna be good. Jalen Monroe is my player that's up. That dude's good. Watching him last year play against LSU, going into that game, it was like, oh man, if we could make him throw the ball, man, we good. That man had like 300 fucking yards running on us. And he had like 300 fucking yards running on us with like 4 touchdowns. I'm like, you know what, bro? This shit, man. I couldn't even get mad, bro. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, dog. It is what it is. Jay Daniels, if he didn't get concussed, man, that shit would have been a shootout, bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I never looked at a game and was just like, this is ridiculous. I was like, this shit's ridiculous. That kid did not lose that game against Michigan either. That dude is good. Jalen Rose actually gotten better. And with this offense that he's in, that Michael Penix Jr., who I said was the best quarterback coming out of the draft this year, he's in that offense this year. What a true freshman who's 17 years old and had that type of game. I'm just saying. Jalen Monroe's the player that's going up, man. And if he ain't the top, if he ain't 1-2 when it comes to quarterback situation in his upcoming draft, you gonna watch. You gonna watch a motherfucking. You gonna watch a superstar. You gonna watch a superstar for the next couple of years. And you gonna be like, what the fuck happened? I'm telling you right now. If you're the Raiders, the Giants, the Jets, they need to start thinking about a quarterback. But I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. If you one of these teams that got a franchise that don't the coach, Anthony Richardson keep getting fucking hurt, you might need to start thinking about one. Cleveland. Start thinking about a quarterback, man. Start thinking. Carolina, yeah, you'll get a good one. The player that's down just so happens to be in the SEC as well, and that's Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart is either the third or fourth best quarterback coming out of the draft this year. If he leaves Ole Miss, and he enters into the draft, he would be the third or fourth best quarterback going into the draft. So now, to me, it's between him and Quinn Harris. Excuse me, it's between him and Quinn Harris for third. Um, I don't know if we'll even see Quinn Harris no more the rest of the season. I think we will because I don't think Texas can just afford to just have Archie Manning now be the guy. Excuse me. I think Archie Manning hasn't been on the road yet in the SEC. That's one. Two, when you haven't been on the road yet in the SEC, it's different. It's a different environment. It's a different feeling. And I think he won't be able to manage it. Not like Quinn Harris. So I think we will see Quinn Harris at some point in this season. Because I think Archie's gonna go on the road. He's gonna play a team. He's gonna get his ass whooped. He's gonna have some. He's gonna have a game where you just like, ugh, this is bad. Because he's a fucking freshman. But he's never been in an SEC play like this. He's never done this before. So yeah, but I think Jackson Dart, no player that's down. And listen, the Ole Miss game against Kentucky. Kentucky's a really good team. People don't really pay attention to that team. Kentucky's a really good fucking team. They almost beat Georgia, and so them beating Ole Miss wasn't really that surprising to me. Now I actually was going to put that as my upset last week, and I actually was about to do it. I was actually going to say I think Ole Miss can lose to Kentucky because I've seen Kentucky. I've seen Kentucky play. I was about to say, yo, I think Kentucky kind of get Ole Miss, and I didn't do it. I should have done it. But listen, Jackson Dart is a good quarterback. This upcoming week, he's got South Carolina. The following week after that, he comes to LSU. These next couple of weeks are going to be crucial for him because now he has to has to show up. You can't just continuously rely on what got you to the dance. Now you're in a situation. This is why I say also, this is why I don't really put too much stock into Ole Miss. I said this earlier in the season. I said I don't give a shit if it's Ole Miss or Penn State. I don't care. I said I do not care. Okay, if it's Ole Miss or Penn State, I don't care. But this is why Jackson Dart's a good quarterback. Not saying he's not, but I feel like his team around him, they're putting too much stock on him. They're putting too much on him. And if he doesn't perform like he did in the Kentucky game, you have a problem. A team that's going up is Clemson. Yeah, I say Clemson. I think Clemson. Listen, I still got to see him against Miami. Yeah, I still got to see him against Miami. That's really it. If they could play Miami and they beat Miami, then we're having a different conversation. But I think Clemson, as good as Clemson has been the last couple of weeks since that, especially that Georgia game, there's still something about Clemson you still gotta watch. You know what I'm saying? It's still something about Clemson. But they're up. They're winning these games, and they're starting to win them convincingly, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, you're still waiting for that one game where you could tell their talent is just not as superior as that team's. But for what Clemson has become the last couple of weeks since that particular game, I gotta give them their respect. I give them their respect. A team that's doing down bad is pretty obvious. Florida State. Florida State sucks. Oh my God. Mike Norvell is going to get fired. It's not if, it's when. He's going to get fired. Last year, like I said, was a fucking anomaly. That is the only season he had that he actually was a winning record. That dude is going to get fired. And you really can't blame anybody but him. You got Keon Coleman from Michigan State last year. Jordan Travis was already good, but this is a situation that you're sitting in right now with Florida State. I don't know if Florida State is actually a really, really. I don't know if Florida State is if Florida State can get out of any of this shit that they're in. Now this week they play Clemson, which is gonna be a funny ass game to watch. Here's my thing about Clemson. Here's my thing about Florida State, right? They're gonna fire Mike Norvell. The question now becomes, and this is the thing about this is why me and my brother Juan talked about this last night. There's a couple coaches I'm looking at right now. Deion Sanders in Colorado, because his son's probably both his sons are probably about to leave. Maybe his other son, who plays cornerback, maybe he goes with him to Florida State. He goes to Florida State and becomes the head coach. Florida State probably isn't gonna be great, but at least it gives you enough spunk and enough interest in Florida State again. The second coach, Nick Sirianni, who coaches the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if Lincoln Riley doesn't get the job with the Chicago Bears and he stays in USC, Nick Sirianni could go to Florida State. Nick Sirianni could go to Florida State. And I would not be surprised if he ends up Florida State. I would not. Those are the two coaches. Deion or Nick Sirianni. Take your pick. Take your fucking pick. The Crazy Six. As you know, they go from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, go all the way down. Talk about why I have them all in, these 6 teams, and why I feel like these 6 teams are going to be, about in my 6 teams, pretty much, right? All right, number one, Texas. They're 5-0. Bye week, and then the following week they play against Oklahoma, which is gonna be that's how can I say this? Oklahoma is to Texas what Alabama is to Auburn, or Auburn is to Alabama. I don't give a shit how bad of a season Auburn is having. I don't give a fucking how bad of a fucking season Oklahoma's having. They can beat them. They can beat them. Auburn had a terrible season last year. Fucking awful season last year. Almost beat Alabama. And shit like that. The next week is gonna be very fucking interesting, and I cannot wait to watch that fucking game. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be so goddamn funny. But I do think Texas is the number one team right now. Now, again, they're on a bye this week, so we shall see if Quentin Ayers can even play next week. If he is cleared next week, and this is the thing, this is a test. This is the first real test for Archie. He will be on the road, technically. It's fucking Dallas. But he will be on the road in a neutral situation Will Oklahoma beat them? Because Archie isn't used to situations like this. Will his inexperience kick in? It could happen. Let's again look for next week, and I'll be talking probably next goddamn week. Anyway, number 2 is Tennessee. Tennessee's 4-0. They did not play last week, but they will be playing against Arkansas. Now, they will be playing at Arkansas. Now, listen, I have said for weeks and weeks, Arkansas is dangerous. I have said for weeks and weeks. Oklahoma State, they almost beat them, went to double overtime, almost beat them. And then you have last week, then we get Texas A&M, almost beat them. Tennessee coming off of a bye. Tennessee coming off of a bye. Uh, and going into Arkansas, which is a dangerous situation again. Like I said, a very dangerous situation. But I think Tennessee again has the offense that can combat anything. With that quarterback they have, shit gonna get interesting. Shit gonna get interesting real motherfucking fast. Number 3, Miami. 5-0. Miami, boy. Let me tell y'all, man. You sons of bitches had me, boy. That shit last week, Friday night, boy. Man, boy, that shit was nuts. That was a crazy fucking game. Virginia Tech, like I said, Virginia Tech didn't win that game. I know people that will sit there and get mad and say Virginia Tech won that game. Virginia Tech did not win that fucking game. Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech did not win that game. You saw the ball get literally displaced out of his hands when he hit the ground. He had it, and then when he was coming down to the ground, he lost the fucking ball. You can easily see that. But Miami scared the shit out of me in that game. Now, they go to California. They play Cal this week. Cal is a dangerous team. People have not talked about this team. Cal has beaten Auburn. I think last week. I forgot who they beat. They played last week and beat somebody too. Cal's a dangerous fucking team, bro. Nobody's talking about Cal. Cal's a dangerous motherfucking team. They can easily win. They can easily win against Miami, especially after a game like that. Hopefully, Miami got their minds right, and it's a late game too. It's the West Coast. Miami's in the South. It's the West Coast. Your body might be off. Your body might be off. I don't know. It could be a dangerous situation. So um, so yeah. Um, so yeah, Miami versus Cal. It's gonna be an interesting game. Miami's 5-0 after the game that they just had the previous week. Um, yeah, we shall see how Miami's gonna actually perform in that game, but it's gonna be interesting. Number 4, Alabama. Number 4, Alabama. 4-0, coming off of beating Georgia. They should have never, like I said, the defense let up in the second half. That was all on the defense. The defense fault because that game should have never went that way. That was an ass whooping. You clearly had that game won, and then the defense just shit the fucking bed. Um, but Alabama 4-0 playing against Vanderbilt this upcoming week. They're gonna dominate Vanderbilt. This shit is gonna be a fucking dub. They're gonna beat the shit out of Vanderbilt. Now they could have a letdown. A lot of these teams that have games like that have letdowns the following week. They come out a little sluggish. They don't really perform like they were supposed to. Yeah, but I think Alabama 4-0. They can get it done. They can definitely get it done. Number 5 is the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're 4-0. Ohio State beat the shit out of Michigan State. It wasn't even close. it was it was an ass whooping. Wasn't even close. Um, I had that as my upset, and it did not pan out the way I thought. um, they go to Iowa. Well, Iowa comes to them, I should say. They play Iowa. Uh, Iowa's always an interesting game, and I won't say interesting game. It's always an interesting team, not an interesting game, more like an interesting team. So being that Ohio State's 4-0, going to Iowa. I mean, Iowa's coming to them. It's always an interesting game, and we shall see how that's gonna look. And number 6 is Missouri. Missouri is number 6 on my list. They're 4-0 as well. They play Texas A&M. They'll be at Texas A&M. Yeah, man. I think Missouri's different. Missouri's different. The one thing I fear about Missouri though is that they rely too heavily on their offense. So if the offense don't really score, I don't know if the defense can hold. And that's what a problem I think is with Missouri. But Missouri is 6 on my list. Eyes on college football, week 6. You already know. Skeptical game of the week, my most interesting game of the week, my upset game of the week, and my game of the week. A skeptical game of the week. It said Miami Hurricanes versus the California Bears, the Cal Bears. Yeah, I am very skeptical of this game, especially after what happened last week. How the game ended between Miami and Virginia Tech. Going to California of all places, this is like I said, coming from the South, going to the West Coast. This is gonna be interesting. The best thing for Miami is the fact that they have had as long of a process as they have had. But this is a bad situation. I expect Miami to be better. I expect Miami to be better in this game. But like I said, Cal is a really good team. And teams that have went to Cal the last couple of weeks, like I said, Auburn and all these other teams that have actually went to Cal, gotta got their ass whooped. So we shall see. It being late too in the day is being 10:30, here. So imagine it being, you know, for Miami time. It's gonna be crazy. Most interesting game of the week is Syracuse versus UNLV. People don't realize UNLV Rebels are fucking undefeated and they're in the polls. This is an interesting fucking game. Very fucking interesting. Because UNLV, since becoming undefeated and being in the polls, have lost their starting quarterback. They lost their starting running back because they promised these kids something, and this is the first time since the NIL deals have happened that people are not getting what they're promised. And now players are being like, man, fuck this shit. I'm gone. Fuck this. Then I don't want to play. This is where the problem now starts for the NLs. This can become a problem now for the NIL because players can do this. You told me I was gonna get X, Y, and Z if I came to the school, and I came to the school, and now you're not giving. Not only are you not giving me that, I don't know if you have a chance to actually even offer me that shit again. Like I gave you what you wanted. You're 4-0. You're in the polls. So this game is going to be this game is going to be extremely interesting because now you have no starting the starting quarterback that you've had for the last 4 or 5 games. He's not there anymore. Like, he's not even there anymore. The running back isn't even there anymore because UNLV committed to these kids and don't have shit to give them. And Syracuse is a dangerous fucking team. Syracuse has always been a dangerous fucking team. But going into Vegas with all of the situations that are happening, that's a very interesting situation. Upset game of the week. I didn't pick it last week, but I will pick it this week. And that to me is Ole Miss versus South Carolina. Listen, Ole Miss, Ole Miss is in a very interesting situation. Very interesting. And I'll tell you why I say Ole Miss is in a very interesting situation. Because for the next couple of weeks, Ole Miss play Kentucky at home. You're on the road against South Carolina, and you're playing LSU also on the road. So you lost to Kentucky at home, which was a fucking lie for you. In the next 2 games, you're on the road against South Carolina and LSU. LSU's defense is not great, by no stretch of the imagination. I would never sit there and say they are. God no. But South Carolina defense is. And if uh, South Carolina's quarterback plays, South Carolina can give Ole Miss some fucking problems. Ole Miss is good, but they ain't great. And that's my thing. Ole Miss started this season undefeated. They can literally lose the next 3 games. And you would be like, this is what I've said. People that always say, Ole Miss, Ole Miss. Let the season play out. Let's see what happens. Because this is my problem with people that immediately scream, Ole Miss, Ole Miss. Games like this. I think Ole Miss will bounce back this week. But if they don't, shit happens. What can I say? And the game of the week is Missouri versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M since losing to Notre Dame, it's gotten their shit together. But last week, shit was shaky, man. Shit was shaky against Arkansas. I told y'all it was gonna be a little shaky. She was a little shaky. She was a little shaky. They're playing Missouri. Missouri, I think, is like top 10. Texas A&M is top 25. This is a top 25 matchup. This is an old Big 12 matchup, as a matter of fact, on top of the shit. This is going to be interesting because whoever wins this game kind of has an easy track to at least stay at least afloat in the SEC before you have to play against the Texas and the Alabamas and like the Texas, Alabamas, Georgias. At least you have enough. So this is the thing. I this is a game where I'm looking super duper forward to seeing how the fuck this is gonna go. I expect it to be great. I expect it to be a hard hitting game. I expect it to be a low scoring too. I don't think Texas A&M have really enough to really score over 20, 27 points. Missouri can outscore you, but again, like I said, the defense can. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think this is going to be a really great game. Like I said, it's a sidetrack for SEC because Tennessee, you still got Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, LSU. LSU really hasn't really played in the SEC yet. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting situation. Interesting situation. A big four in the NFL. 4 teams, for this week. So let's get into it, man. Coming into week, what, 5? Lord Jesus, we're at week 5 already for the NFL. That is fucking nuts. So let's get into it. Number 1, the Minnesota Vikings. 4-0. They play the Jets this upcoming week in London. So if you like early morning fucking games, there you go. They almost lost. Almost like Green Bay come back, but for the most part, they blowing Green Bay ass out in Lambeau. Minnesota is so weird. It's a weird fucking team to me. I'm sorry. I told my brother Juan this last night when we was on our show, and I'm gonna say it again. This Vikings team is like all the other Vikings teams that have come before them. The 1998 Vikings that went 15-1 and then lost to Atlanta at home in the fucking NFC Championship game because there's a field goal kicker who was perfect the whole fucking year missed like a chip shot. And you're just like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And that was the team they had Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Randall Cunningham. Yeah. And this is the same as Vikings team that kind of feels like the 2009 Vikings with Brett Favre. And they got, Sidney Rice and you know what I'm saying? It feels like that Vikings team. And then Adrian Peterson and then they play us in the NFC Championship game, and then they throw a pick and lose the fucking game because Brett Favre does Brett Favre shit, and it feels like the Minnesota Vikings with Case Keenum. Case Keenum, they had that magical season. Hell, even have a magical play, win the game of a Stephon Diggs catching the ball. The Saints corner, the safety and corner, fucking missed the tackle. He runs into the end zone. What is it? The Minnesota Miracle, some shit like that. He wins the game and it's over, and then they go into Philly the next week and get their ass beat in the NFC Championship game. This is on par with the motherfucking Vikings. This is what the Vikings do. Every year they have that one year where you just like, holy shit, they are whooping ass. What the fuck is going on? And then they run up against a team that's just better than them and they lose. Now, the saving grace for them is they don't really have one this year. You can't really sit there and say it's San Francisco because it's not. Philly's not. God Almighty, no. Washington can be. Detroit, but you play Detroit in the division. So you will see Green Bay maybe when they get healthy. Yeah, maybe. I would say the Saints, but the Saints got their own injury situations, and Lord knows. Atlanta, Tampa, Seattle, probably, and that's it. Like they might be the best team, but here's the problem with that: even though they're the best team, they're still gonna find a way to lose. Because here's the thing: again, you're putting Sam Darnold in situations where he doesn't have to be Sam fucking Darnold. He's winning these games so early that the defense is doing what their job and the offense doesn't have to be on the field to do stupid shit. Once you put Sam Darnold in an actual close game, then let's have a conversation. When he's actually in a tight knit game, then let's have a conversation. Most of these games he's up in them. Even the San Francisco game, they were up. He didn't really need to fuck the situation up. He almost did last week against Green Bay. He almost did. But the Vikings are number one on my list. And I'm gonna give them their credit. Like I said, here's the thing about people that don't understand shit like I do. It's very simple. New information breeds new results. I still don't believe in them, but I gotta give them credit for the 4 games they played because they've been the better fucking team. New information breeds new results. Number 2. Oh, it's the motherfucking Commanders, ladies and gentlemen. Washington Commanders. Yep. 3-1. They are at home against the Browns this upcoming week. Fucking dub. Uh, fucking dub. Oh my God. They play the Browns this week. Jane Daniels is that dude. I've said this numerous times. Michael Penix Jr. was my quarterback one. Jane Daniels second. And sometimes you can flip it. You can flip it. You can flip it. You can say, well, I think Jane Daniels is one and Michael Penix is two. I would not be mad if you said that shit. But to me, when I watched it, it was Jay Daniels and it was Michael Penix Jr. It was Michael Penix Jr. and it was Jay Daniels. And then Drake made third, and then Caleb and Bo Nix and JJ McCarthy. Yeah, you had them. But for me, it was 1-2, Michael Penix, Jay Daniels. And after that, I don't give a shit. Jay Daniels going from the Pac-12 to the SEC and actually got better in the SEC. The hardest conference, this motherfucker mastered it in 2 years. Won a Heisman, matter of fact. It made me laugh last year when people kept trying to tell me Bo Nix should have won a Heisman. I'm like, you clearly are not watching football. You're clearly not watching it. It made me laugh when people kept saying Caleb Williams was this game-changing franchise player. And I'm like, I saw two players. I saw Jane Daniels leave the Pac-12, go to the harder conference in the SEC, and in 2 years, he mastered it. I saw Caleb Williams go from the defenseless Big 12 to the two at the time defensive teams in the Pac 12. I saw when Jane Daniels actually had to play competition, he stepped up to it. I saw when Caleb Williams had to play competition. He fucking folded. What are we talking about here? Jane Daniels is having the best season right now. He's going to shatter. And I kind of said this when we were doing my mock draft with my brother Juan. He's going to shatter CJ Stroud's records that he set last year. He's going to shatter it. He's going to shatter that shit by week 8. If he stays healthy, he's going to shatter that shit by week 8. That shit going to be done. They're going to win the NFC East. Stamp it. They win the NFC East. Eagles suck. Cowboys are the Cowboys. And the Giants are literally picking the top 3. so, so who the fuck wins? I said this shit when I did my preview show. Washington's going to be in the playoffs. I said this shit. Now, defensively, they still got to get better. I thought Dan Quinn's defense would actually be better than the offense at this moment. But the offense is so much better than the defense that it's helping the defense to improve faster because now they have to get better because they seen this shit and oh shit, we need to get better now. It's kind of like Houston last year. It's like, oh shit, we got to get better now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Washington had a good draft this year, so it's not like it's a bad fucking draft. They had a good draft, so they gonna get it right, man. Third, they played last night. Almost lost fucking last night. Not really lost, but questionable shit. And that's the Detroit Lions. They're 3-1. They're on a bye this upcoming week. Wish they weren't, because I got Jared Goff as a fantasy quarterback. So I wish he wasn't on a fucking bye week. Detroit, I've said this for numerous weeks since last fucking season. Detroit is my favorite team to watch. Defensively, they suck. Oh my god, I thought this defense would get better. Teron Arnold, the cornerback from Alabama that they drafted. I need y'all to go in in his bye week. I want him and Anthony Glenn to go sit and watch tape of the best cornerbacks he's ever seen. And then I want you to freeze frame when the receiver was coming their way and when they were foot to foot, running neck and neck with each other. And then what particular the cornerback did to the receiver. Because what the fuck you kept doing last night is going to cost you sons of bitches games. You cannot do that. You can't keep holding the motherfucker because they might be a little bit faster than you. That's some Alabama shit. You can't do that. Alabama could get away with that shit because it was the SEC and they wanted Nick Saban to continuously win. I'm not a conspiracy theories person. That's plain old fucking facts. Like if you watch the LSU games like I did, you're like, yeah, that shit is kind of stupid. Yeah, like this is the NFL. You can't do that shit. But all in all, man, Aiden Hutchinson is what we all expected Aiden Hutchinson to fucking be. That fucking dude. They still need another pass rusher with him. They still need another one. I know they brought in Marcus Davenport from Minnesota, formerly of the Saints, and he's out for the year. They need to go get a pass rusher. They definitely need to go get a pass rusher. I will start looking at these teams that are already kind of punting on the season. Brian Burns, who I know Giants traded earlier in the offseason for. I don't know if you can do 2 trades in a season. It was the off season, so I don't know. But Brian Burns isn't probably going to re-sign with the fucking Giants. So if you can, see what you can get. Why not? See what you can get. Look at some of these teams that might be punting on a season. Start looking at them. Start looking at some of these teams. Definitely start looking at them. But yeah, Detroit is third for me, man. And fourth is the Houston Texans. They're 3-1. They play the Bills this upcoming week. Houston, you know what I thought of Houston, and this is my fault. I thought Houston would do what the Vikings are doing, and that's my fault. Houston won a lot of games last year, close. They didn't blow a lot of teams out, but I thought with the talent that they had brought in, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, I thought that this team would be offensively head and shoulders better than anybody, especially in the AFC. The offensive line still sucks. That shit is awful. They actually was better last fucking year. This offensive line sucks. Fucking awful. But despite that, they're 3-1. The only loss was to Minnesota. This upcoming week is gonna be a very interesting fucking game. Buffalo comes in 3-1 after literally giving the fuck up against Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. This is such an interesting game because one, Stephon Diggs is playing the Buffalo Bills for the first time in ever. This is the first time he's playing Buffalo since he was a Viking. This is the first time he's playing Buffalo. I know he's gonna want his revenge, especially the way that Buffalo have been talking down on him, particularly Josh Allen and shit. He's gonna want his revenge. Buffalo also has been without their cornerbacks for like a week or two, so I don't know if their cornerbacks are gonna be healthy enough to go play this game. But the game that I saw Sunday for the Baltimore Ravens against Buffalo is a game that I feel like Houston can have against them. Now, I don't know if Joe Mixon is going to be healthy enough to play in that game. I don't know. What I mean by that is what Baltimore did, which is kind of run on the edges, kind of go up the gut on them. And now that you have Buffalo also losing Von Miller for 4 fucking games because of PEDs, now there's a problem. Now you have no pass rush. Now you have one of your best pass rushers on the fucking sidelines. That's a problem. Now, do I think Buffalo's going to have a problem defensively with that still? They haven't had a problem yet defensively except for Sunday. But Buffalo, this is the one thing about Buffalo's defense. They can't continuously have these situations happen and still find a way. This is a massive problem. This is the best game also for Houston's defense to finally get going. They have to get back to dominance, and they have not been that in a minute. They gotta get back to dominance. And with Will Anderson and Darnell Hunter, they gotta get going. They gotta get going. I got Houston for it. If shaky still to me, But this is the game where you can finally show people, no, we are the best team in the AFC. Better than Kansas City, better than Buffalo, better than Baltimore, Cincinnati, and anybody else. This is the game. And of course, my levels of warning before I get out of here. 3 levels of warning, which means 3 teams. Yellow is caution. Orange is panic time. Red is DOA. Let's get into it. Yellow, caution. It's my Saints. They're 2-2. They've lost 2 straight games. And literally, they should be 4-0. This shit is bad, man. They're 2-0. They're 2-2. They should be 4-0. Injuries are killing us. Injuries are killing us. When you look at this receiving core to begin the season, they didn't have enough depth. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with A.T. Perry. I thought he would be the best person to put on the field. I thought him and Derek Carr had instant chemistry. But they're using this rookie, Tipton. No offense to the kid, because I don't know him very well. He's from, I think they say Yale. So he's clearly smart than a motherfucker. But that doesn't help us win games. We're hurt. We're banged up. Offensive line wise, we're fucked up. Willie Gay, who we bought from Kansas City, the linebacker, he's hurt. Teron Matthew, he's hurt. Alontae Taylor, he's a little banged up. Things are fucked up. Chris Olave's banged up. Taysom Hill's hurt. It's just Alvin Kamara have broken ribs. Like, here's the thing. Devontae Adams requested a trade today for the Raiders. Now everybody's now scrambling and saying, where is he going? Where is he going? Now, I would love to have Devontae Adams as a Saints fan. I would love to have him. Him and Derek Carr, of course, played with the Raiders a year ago. Not to mention, played in Florida State. Florida State, Lord Jesus. Fresno State in college. So I would love to see them too in New Orleans. I would love to have Devontae Adams in New Orleans. Here's the problem. Does he fit the scheme? Does he fit the scheme? It's not about if Devontae Adams is a great player. We all know Devontae Adams is a great fucking player. Does he fit the scheme? And that's the thing. I don't know if Devontae Adams actually fits the scheme that Clint Kubiak actually runs, and that's where the problem lies. What we need is speed. We need a speed receivers. We need Chris Olave is good enough to be what he does. Now, if you can get Devontae Adams and give Chris Olave time to rest, cool. Then Devontae Adams would easily fit that. But if everybody was healthy, does he fit the scheme? And that's where the problem lies. For the Saints, I feel like we need way more depth. Cornerback, linebacker, offensive line. That's what we need depth at. We do need depth at receiver. I'm not going to sit up here and act like we don't, because we fucking do. But I would look at the Tennessee Titans with Calvin Ridley. I would look at um, Miami. I'm not saying go get Tariq Hill. Oh fuck no, because that's a high ass price tag. And so is Jalen Waddle. But try to get Jalen Waddle. See what's happening. See what's happening. Jaguars. I wouldn't say Christian Kirk, but try to see. Arizona. There's some teams that's gonna be very shaky the next couple of weeks. We shall see. If you can go see and go see what you can get, go get them. But Saints have a lot more problems. They have injuries and everything under the sun. Now, I'm not like a lot of people. I'm not out on my team. I think if they can stay afloat, and that's the key, stay a fucking float for the next couple of months, because these next couple of weeks are gonna be fucking brutal. Monday Night Football, Kansas City. We go home for a divisional game against Tampa Bay. Brutal. Then we have a Thursday night game against the Denver fucking Broncos. Brutal. Then we go to LA for Sunday football. Fucking brutal, man. This is the part of the schedule, like I said when I did my preview show for the Saints. This is the part of the schedule where it kind of gets a little shaky. I know we got Cleveland at some point. We got a lot of games where just like you just gonna be just sitting there like, what the fuck? The key, the word of the day is stay afloat. This is to stay a fucking float. If we get to our bye week, which is like week 13, week 14, and we are still under 500, over 500, not even like at 500 by the time we get to the bye week, I don't think the NFC South. I don't think anybody pulls away from the NFC South. I don't think Tampa is really that great. They got an okay offense, but the defense is always the shaky part for Tampa. I don't think Atlanta has enough to pull away from the NFC South because Atlanta just Kirk Cousins is still banged up. That defense is still shaky as fuck. They get more penalties. They get more penalized than any team. So yeah, Orange panic time, and that is also a 2-2 team, and that is the Jets. I despise sports media. I despise football sports media. I despise these ESPNs, FS1s, uh, CBS sports media. I despise them. Bar sports media. I despise these fucking medias because you lie. You lie and then you yet to tell the truth. Here's my fucking problem with the Jets. I'm gonna close my fucking tablet for this shit. I got a problem with the Jets. My problem with the fucking Jets is that for fucking years we have sat here and told you that Robert Saleh defensively is an amazing defensive mind. And he's had to deal with bullshit like Zach Wilson, who we all knew wasn't probably that guy. We knew that shit coming into the draft. But yet, you still fucking drafted him. Why? Why? You gave him bullshit offense for the last, what, 4 or 5 years of his coaching career. You give him Aaron Rodgers last year, get wrapped on a plate. Here's the thing. See, this is where people, again, want to revise history. Aaron Rodgers did not want to be with the Jets. He was forced to be with the Jets. You know why? Because Green Bay said, you know what? We sick of this shit. We sick of you keep sitting up here talking about some you gonna retire. You gonna retire. You're gonna retire. Because we drafted Jordan Love. Aight, motherfucker, fuck this. Jordan Love, you the starter, Aaron Rodgers, get the fuck out. Get your shit, get the fuck out. That's what they told Aaron Rodgers. We're gonna stop revising fucking history like this shit didn't happen. Because it happened. They told him, get your shit and get the fuck out. We gotta see if this kid can actually play in the NFL. That's what happened. And even when we knew he was going to the Jets, he still played like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta weigh out my options. I don't know if I'm gonna retire or I'm gonna go to the Jets or you know. You still try to hold the Green Bay Packers in a pattern. That's to you. Now there's a quote from Gary Wilson saying the offense needs to be more creative. That's your receiver telling you, Aaron Rodgers fans, and Aaron Rodgers fans in the media, that clearly this offense is predicated on Aaron Rodgers and me. We can't run the ball. The offensive line sucks still. And I'm literally the only fucking weapon you have. The Jets are the Cowboys. Jets are the Cowboys. Offensively inept. You have one weapon. Actually, you have to. Brees Hall. But you don't fucking use him. The Jets. And then I had to watch TV yesterday. Rex Ryan. Bullshit ass fucking commentator. Sit there with a fucking straight face and on TV said, Robert Saleh is the worst head coach I've ever seen. That's funny. Because I'm pretty fucking sure Robert Saleh, because if this is you, because you know damn well you had Mark Sanchez for most of your coaching career, and that motherfucker sucked. Your whole team was predicated around running the ball. You never gave Mark Sanchez the fucking ball. Never. You never wanted to put him in any situation where he actually had to be the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is 40 fucking years old. Let's stop beating around the bush. He's 40 years old. His last year in Green Bay, he sucked. We keep giving motherfuckers passes for what they used to be. He ain't that guy no fucking more. He ain't that dude no more. He can't get out the pocket like he used to. He can't move like he used to. The one fucking game that they actually was good was the Patriots game. And it's because the Patriots suck. The Patriots fucking suck. And I'm gonna be honest, I picked the bitches to win the AFC East. Cause I'm looking at Miami, I'm like, Miami's dysfunctional. I don't know what the fuck Buffalo is. And I don't trust the fucking Jets. Patriots suck and I still don't trust the fucking Jets. What happens? I am sick of sports media lying. Robert Saleh is not the fucking problem with the Jets. That defense is not the fucking problem. That defense held the fucking Denver Broncos to 60 yards passing Sunday. The Jets lost by a point. The fucking Jets lost by a point. They held the fucking offense to 10 points, 60 yards passing, and you lost by a point. And you gonna sit on TV and fucking sit there and say, Robert Saleh is the worst coach. If you don't get the fuck off my fucking TV, you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Aaron Rodgers sucks right now. He's not good. He's not what he used to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay to admit that. He's not Tom Brady. He's never been Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the fucking anomaly. 40 years old, 42, 41, 42 years old, still playing at a high key level. That shit will never happen again. We gotta stop saying that shit is Aaron Rodgers because it's not. It's not. He's never been Tom Brady. He will never be Tom Brady. As great as Aaron Rodgers' talent was when he was at his peak, he's won one ring. You know what he reminds me of? Brett Favre. Kind of ironic because his career ended up just like Brett Favre. His career is ending up just like Brett Favre. Y'all keep giving motherfuckers excuses for what they used to be. Let's be real. What he is now is a 40-year-old quarterback that is going to torpedo the franchise because y'all in the media are going to sit there still give him all this praise and all this credit. Literally last week, I had to hear you sons of bitches sit there and tell me how he won that game against the Patriots. Do y'all not see both sides of the football? Are we just not gonna talk about both sides of the football now? That's what we do. When they win, it's all Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that. When they lose, oh my God, Rob Saleh is the worst head coach I've ever seen. I can't believe this. Right? Oh, cadence. The offensive line. Offensive line had 5 false start penalties because of cadence. Aaron Rodgers, isn't the cadence on you? And Nathaniel Hackett? You go on your press. Robert Salas does not address it. He says, you know what, we're just moving on. It is what it is. Let's move on. You go on the press right after him and say, well, you know me, I would hold people accountable. So should we hold you accountable? Because that's your fault. You at home and you fucking it up. You're at home and have 5 false start penalties. At home. Nah, man. Nah, man. Nah, man. Fuck out of here with that shit. I'm not about to. Is Robert Salas great as a head coach? No, he's not. I can easily tell you that. He's not. But what the fuck we about to stop doing is blame him for why this offense still fucking sucks. And now Aaron Rodgers is actually there. This is his offense. He wants these players. He wanted Alan Lazard. He wanted these players. You gave him an offensive line. The running game is worse than it was last fucking season. How is that possible? The running game is worse than it was last year. What a healthy Brees Hall. And an actual second running back that if he was on any other team, he'd be a starter. He'd be a fucking starter. If you put him on Dallas right now, you put Allen on Dallas right now, that's the best running back. And it's not even close. It's not even fucking close. They lose to the Vikings in London because the offense can't score, but they stop that Vikings offense. You better not ever tell me that's a Robert Saleh's problem. If they stop that offense, but they still don't win the game, you better not tell me, oh, it's because Robert Saleh has lost them the game. What? The Vikings scoring damn near 40 fucking points every game. Vikings scoring damn near 40 fucking points every fucking game. And you sit up there and tell me Rob Saleh's lost them the game. If they score 17 fucking points and the Jets lose by 4, y'all gotta stop doing this shit. I get it that y'all got some weird fetish with people that you just can't get over losing. Patrick Mahomes sucking this year. Patrick Mahomes has sucked this year. But it's Patrick Mahomes. We can't say he's terrible. Aaron Rodgers has not been Aaron Rodgers for like 3 fucking years. It's Aaron Rodgers. We can't say Aaron Rodgers suck. Like I told my brother Warren last night, Robert Saleh is gonna go off. He gonna get a defensive coordinator job, and that defense is gonna be one of the best defenses in the NFL. And the Jets gonna have Aaron Rodgers, and that team is going to pick top 5 in the fucking draft the next 2 years because you wanted to go offense. Now that defense suck. Good fucking luck. In my DOA, red DOA, this is the Jaguars on 4. Jaguars are the Giants of the AFC. Jaguars are the fucking Giants of the AFC. A good head coach, pretty okay players, but the offense fucking sucks because the fucking quarterback. There will be no time in the world where I actually told anybody Trevor Lawrence was worth a fucking first round pick. The first overall pick is even fucking crazier. The first overall pick. The fuck were you looking at? Trevor Lawrence has lost, what, 8, 9 starts since last year? He started the season like. See, I can understand if y'all gonna sit there and say, well, he's injured, Brandon. He's injured, like y'all did last year, right? He's injured. He's coming off injury. That's not the case this year. This motherfucker has lost what 8, 9 starts consecutively. The only game the Jags won last year that Trevor, the only game the Jags won last year after starting the season 8-3 was a game started by C.J. Beathard and they played against the Carolina Panthers. Are y'all ready to say Trevor Lawrence is a bust? Because I've been on that train for a while. See, that's a bust. That's a fucking bust. Let's have a conversation now. Let's fucking really have this conversation. That motherfucker is a bust. Because you actually saw his potential, but he's fucking hit his ceiling. That's a fucking bust. That's how you call a bust. That's a fucking that's a bust. Bryce Young's not a bust. He ain't there yet. He should have been sitting for 2 fucking years. He ain't there yet. Trevor Lawrence is a fucking bust. That's a fucking bust. Caleb Williams, the jury is still out on him. Trevor Lawrence is a fucking bust. You saw his potential, and he's done. You can't do shit with him. He can't go any fucking further. That's a fucking bust. You should go ahead and put that bitch. You should go ahead and just fucking call it. You should go ahead and call it. You paid this motherfucker more money for your team to be worse. And here's how fucking stupid this is. They gonna fire Doug Peterson. They gonna fire Doug Peterson. They gonna say it's his fault. Because the ownership group was stupid. And they paid Trevor Lawrence for absolutely fucking nothing. He does nothing for your team. Nothing. You go pay this fucking dude, and his team has sucked since you paid them. Matter of fact, you paid him during the offseason, and they haven't won a game. Every game he started since coming back from that injury, they have lost. That's a fucking bust. That's a bust. Trevor Lawrence is a fucking bust. Put that on it. Now let's make that a trend. First overall pick. His first year, you chalked it up to, oh, he had Urban Meyer. Okay. Forgetting the first half of the year he had Doug Peterson, he sucked in. He was terrible then. And then they turned it around. In the last 2 seasons, this year, last year, and this year, yeah, 8-3. And then when he's played, they have sucked. And he's now 0-4 this year. And it ain't like it's getting better. Good fucking luck. That is I Believe Sports. I'll tell you guys next week. They got a boxing match coming up in the near future for the Undisputed Middleweight Championship. I'm looking forward to that. I'll talk about that. I'll do my football. Again, basketball's around the corner, so I'll be doing my preview show for that soon. Oh shit. Yeah. Before I leave, I usually wrap it up with football, but I fucking forgot. Karl-Anthony Towns got traded to the Knicks. That's how much I gave a fuck about that trade. That's how much I cared about that trade. Karl-Anthony Towns got traded to the Knicks. How I felt about the trade, like I told my brother Juan last night. The team that won that trade is Minnesota. Minnesota got rid of Karl-Anthony Towns. You now have officially said it's Anthony Edwards' team. We could kill it. I don't see how Karl-Anthony Towns benefits the Knicks at any point. The Knicks are built off of grinding and defense and all of that shit. And Karl-Anthony Towns has none of that shit. He's nothing. Julius Randle fit the Knicks better than Karl-Anthony Towns does. And Julius Randle was hurt. The Knicks took a step back. The Knicks took a step back to me. This was a terrible trade. for the Knicks. This was a terrible fucking trade. Now, if you went out and got like a Bam Adebayo or a Jimmy Butler or somebody like that, I can easily give you that, and I can sit there and tell anybody, nah, that's a good trade. That's a fucking amazing trade. That's a steal. You got to excuse me, you got to steal. This made me think of the Knicks, and it made me be like, they play Philly. Joel Embiid's healthy. They gonna beat the shit out. Philly gonna beat the shit out the Knicks. They gonna beat the shit out the Knicks. They play Boston. Boston's healthy. They're gonna bully the shit out the Knicks. They play the Pacers. Pacers healthy. They're gonna bully the shit out the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns has none of that. You don't have the toughness. We all know he doesn't have the toughness. So now you put him in an actual. See, the West was better for him because the West, you didn't need to be tough. You just had to have finesse. Now you actually physically have to be tough. You actually have to have the heart to go up against the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers. You have to have the toughness to actually get out the East. He has none of that shit. He has none of that shit. And now I'm supposed to sit here and lie? You can't coach that in him. you, you can't coach toughness in him. You can't. Minnesota won this trade by a fucking stretch. It ain't because you got Julius Randle. It's because you got DiVincenzo. The problem that the Minnesota Timberwolves had last year in the playoffs, particularly, is they couldn't fucking score once Anthony Edwards got back. Like once Anthony Edwards couldn't go, they didn't have any points coming. DiVincenzo is at least 20 points off the bench. He's an easy 20 off the bench. Easy 20. Easy 20 off the bench. If Julius is healthy, that helps you. Now, what they need to do also is trade Rudy Gobert ass, and Minnesota might win the fucking Western Conference Finals. They might be in the NBA Finals this upcoming year. I'm just saying. But until next time, I am Brandon Janeau. This is I Believe Sports. Peace.